Hi, Per, are you able to screen share? Like, because I am not having the option of screen share right now.
Let me try. Mm, is this visible?
Yeah, I don't know why, but my screen share is not working. So
Okay,
if
I
you
will.
can do the screen share today.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's start.
Uh, let's start
Yep.
this meeting. Uh, welcome to the weekly dev call for GitMesh. Uh, it is the meet for 3rd December 2025. Uh, Ryan will start from the agenda.
So
So that
talking just for the code of conduct, the talking for the code of conduct, you guys
yes,
know the terms and policy and like the antitrust policy of LFDT. So you might follow it, and there is no commercial advertisement in any of the PPT slide ahead. So yeah, you can just like show the next slide now.
yes,
Starting with the agenda, today's main agenda was to focus on the governance structure. As I told that we are making a new governance structure for Gitmesh to encourage people to collaborate more and more and try to contribute more on the Gitmesh now. So we have made a new and more efficient governance structure, which is currently in built. So with whatever we show you is like currently we would be following it, but it would be keep improving throughout the time. So we do have some veto power to keep it improve every time. So like we have to discuss that, and then Per would tell you about the technical architecture of the code base ahead. So
yes.
you can show the next slide.
This is the GitMesh contributor pathway. Ryan.
Yeah, so for the git mesh, like can you smaller the size? Yep.
Yes, is this visible now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So talking about the GitMesh contributor pathway, so the governance structure which we were telling you that we have upgraded is about this, that now whosoever would contribute would get a badge for their contribution and for the continuous contribution for the code base. So starting with the newbie contributor, once someone tries to contribute to the GitMesh and gets their first PR merged, they would get the rights of a newbie contributor. A newbie contributor would be considered as a contributor for us and would be well recognized by our community. Then we have a next contributor section, which we have active contributors. If you would contribute for the Gitmesh for more than five contributions and about half 1.5 month, which would like or like 3 months, sorry, if you contribute to a 1/4 quarter, then like it you might get a chance to approved for an active contributor. We don't promise it, but we would do most, like we would promote most of them who are contributing for 3 months and more than five valid contributions. If we feel we would get promoting them to the active contributors. Then next we have the core contributors. The core contributors are those who are much more promoted and who has the right to review the code of other people as they now own some part of the Gitmesh, meaning that they would be knowing each and everything of a particular subsystem of Gitmesh. So for being an core contributor, you first need to contribute something, a feature that you have completely contributed for, and you know the complete part of it. So you would be owning that subsystem, and owning the subsystem means you can now review the code reviews on that particular subsystem for future. When you get the active contributor tag, then you would be then engaging with us for the knowing our further roadmaps earlier than the other people. And then we have a principal contributor. Principal contributor is a person who would be contributing from so long and multi-quarter, means more than two quarters, in the sense more than 6 months, who would be contributing for the Gitmesh. And it would be moreover the person who made some impact on the Gitmesh project, would be considered as the principal contributor. Principal contributor would be working directly with the maintainers and even have the influence on the further roadmap so that whosoever contributes get a valid return from that. So that would be given for the principal maintainer. And then we have a like contributor, and then we have a maintainer position where who would be managing the position. So it would be like that. You have to promote through these steps to become a maintainer. It would take around 6 months for someone, or we can even get someone more, like we can replace the maintainer more easily if we think that someone is outperforming all three of us or more like focused on the Gitmesh itself. Then we might even promote them, as we want to make a healthy community. So we will try our best to make it a healthy community, and the whole governance would be stored in the contributors.yaml file. So for moving on the next page, and all the promotion and demotion votes rights would be given to the role who is just upper on that role. So starting with the badge for each role, there would be a newbie contributor badge. As you can see, the four of the badge. This would be given to each of the contributors who are contributing, and you can even get demoted if you are not working for more than some period of time, which we have mentioned in the governance structure. So next page. Talking about the security reporting, earlier you would be reporting to any of the maintainer for any security purposes, but now onwards we have made a structure such that we have made two code bases. We have a community edition and enterprise edition, which we call CE and EE. So both have their separate security reporting sections. If you want to report for the community edition, if you find some security bug in the community edition, you should approach maintainer who is perv, and you should talk to him first. Then if the thing is not resolved, you can even approach me, and if we both are unable to resolve the particular issue, the security issue for a particular time period, which we have mentioned in the security file, then you can accelerate the issue to LFDT's like LFDT's support system, which is support at the rate lfdecentralizedtrust.org. You can just report them. For the enterprise edition, the files which have the folders which have written premium on it, and if you by mistakenly find any bug in it, then you need to report it to the CTO, who is Ronit, and the mail is given, and the whole and sole person to respond back to you would be from LVLI, and who would be telling you about the how we are fixing the security bug and all. You would we will give you a mail that we have received your security mail, and for the community edition we will also ensure that you get the fixed thing within some period of time. So never mix that channel, because it would be tough for us also to manage those stuff then. Next page. Talking about the license, as I told, the community edition has license Apache 2.0, which is an open source FOSS license, which gives you permission to use it, modify it, distribute it, and even it's the public repository. But there are some modules which we have added as a submodule in the GitMesh community edition, which are known as the authority of LVLI Labs, which would be under enterprise edition. They are subscription plan only based, and they cannot be modified, distributed, or cannot be owned by any individual person other than the LVLI company. And talking about the, if you find, if by mistakenly we push any code of enterprise edition into community edition, you should report it immediately, and you should not use that folders as such for the means of the license purpose. So that's all for the license page also. Then just talking about the pivot. So as you guys know that we have went to the open source summit Korea. At the summit Korea, we got some reviews which told us to improve some of the part of the Gitmesh and some of the ideology of the Gitmesh, and we have tried to focus our whole stuff on the market intelligence going to a Git intelligence part, which means we would be surveilling the market signals, and we would be ranking it through AI and then integrating the Git stuff in it, and would be giving the developers what they should build next. So you can just see this thing. I have told about this thing in the previous meet itself. So just you can read from it. This was all we are pivoting a new idea base, and the code base for this would be uploaded before this Saturday, as if it goes all as planned. So it would be uploaded before Saturday. This was all about that pivot part, which we have done. And as soon as a code base is uploaded, you can then start contributing to it. Uh, Talking about the core technical stack, it would be completely explained by Perv, and
Yes.
all the technical part would be told by him.
So coming to the core technical stack, since we have gone through the huge pivot, there are many changes in the front end, back end, and everything in the technical stack. The first two big changes, we have shifted the front end from to the Vue.js. The reason for this is Vue.js is more suitable for medium to big repositories, and it takes lesser overhead than the React.js. It will give a higher performance for this. And for the backend, we have the TypeScript monorepo. Earlier the code was also in the TypeScript. Now it is a mono repo architecture, and the services architecture is the microservices architecture. It gives flexibility to just plug in and plug out the microservices, and you can work on a particular microservice without affecting the entire code. It will ensure better contributions and faster development. And we have also published our libraries at the rate GitMesh, archetype wrappers. You can use those libraries while you are working with the backend code. Uh, there is the flow diagram for this technical stack. The front end will be Vue.js. It is the client side, and it makes the API request, the REST request to the backend. The backend is divided into two main parts. The first is core service, and the another one is worker service. Core service has the code for the main features, main basic functionalities, uh, while the worker service include the things that are running in the background. Like we have used the Docker based worker service, which fetches data from Kafka and other deployment services, and stores it. And these both of the worker service and core service, they are connected to the PostgreSQL, and they store data into the Postgres. Talking about to the data and intelligence layer, for the database, we have used Postgres with Sequelize. Sequelize is an ORM for TypeScript. Uh, for the search engine, we are using OpenSearch. OpenSearch is a open source query parser which takes some queries and find the relevant data from the database. And for the analytics, we are using Cube.js. Cube.js is a JavaScript based library which analyzes, it is a BI library for JavaScript. It analyzes the metrics that are we are receiving via Docker. And for the signals, we are using GitHub, Stack Overflow, Reddit, etc. For the workers we are using. As you can see from the diagram below, first we generate a raw signal, and the Postgre will ingest a signal. The Postgres is in with the sync the open search queries, which are related to the workers, and also with the Cube.js analytics. Both of these data are stored in the PostgreSQL. And talking about ingestion and workflow, let me zoom in. Uh, So temporal, we are using temporal. Temporal makes sure that your data is never lost when there is some fault in the backend. Like when the backend service stop, it makes sure the data will be preserved. It is used to preserve the data in the PostgreSQL for now, and it talks with the worker. The temporal will talk with the worker and handle the data via here. It will handle the data that is being used by the worker so that it is never lost. The worker is talking with the external API database and SendGrid. Uh, the external worker will fetch signals to the external API, the APIs of GitHub, Reddit we have mentioned, and it will return data to the worker. The worker will also correlate the internal data with the database. It is in sync with the database. And SendGrid is the email messaging feature in email messaging service that we are using in the mesh. It will send the email. The worker will decide when we are sending the emails, and it will send a dispatch message to the SendGrid. So temporal here is the orchestrator. It is working as the orchestrator, and worker is mainly for email services and external API with the actions like fetching from the external API, correlating to the database, and sending the email to the email. This all thing is managed by the worker, and delivery via SendGrid for email. That's all about the technical architecture and technical details. Let's try and continue with other things.
Yeah, so talking about this GitMesh story, this I have shown in the last week, so like no need to explain this, but this is just to be like you can have it in this PPT also. So this was all about our whole story of GitMesh, and thanks for whosoever is contributing to the project. And as we are growing, we would be we would be fully focused from the quarter one of 2026. Before it, we would be establishing our whole base code. As soon as we establish our whole base code in December, we would be pushing our limits in quarter one of 2026 and so on. So that was all for today's meet. And you know whom to contact for the maintainers. Just show them the last slide. So we are the maintainers. You can see our GitHub IDs here. You can contact any of us or just tag any of us on GitHub, or you can just contact us on LinkedIn, or we also have the Discord of Linux Foundation, like LFDT is one, where you can find GitMesh under the lab section there. So you can just approach us there and you can start contributing to it soon. So we would be uploading the code till this Saturday for sure. Yeah, I know I have been telling this from the last 2 weeks, but we would be doing it by this Saturday for sure. So thank you for joining today's meet, and that was all for our today's meet. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you so much.